Right, my dude. We shan't show the plans quite yet. We'll wait until they've started the mission.
Of course, of course.
We have a game on today. In the Greek corner, we have some pretty good clans. We have OFCRA, who are obviously the hosts of this event. They're a French-speaking clan. They've been doing TVT, I think, for like something like 11 years. They're pretty good at TVT at this point in time. They've been doing it for quite a while.
All right.
Not too bad. We have the 6th BAP, who are another French clan. They haven't been doing it for quite as long, to be fair to them. They're still not bad, though. They're still pretty good. We have the CSF. This is primarily a co-op clan. So shooting AIs and stuff is their jam, which is fine. But it usually needs to be not as good in PvP. But it's still, it's still commendable. It's still commendable players. And we have the 19th. I don't want to prove bias, but as the 19th
That's
person
where you're
myself,
from.
It is where I am from. I think 19th is very good. We only do PvP. We try our very best. We're not very good at waiting, though. We like to attack, which is a flaw. The CZ, who are also playing, which is a combination of Czech players who just play under the banner of Czechoslovakia to try their best. They are exceptionally good. In fact, I might even go further. These are the key players who I would look out for. The name of Ziki, Sixor, Border Keeper, Massacre. These are names of players who I think are probably some of the best in this event. They are exceptionally good. The downside is they're quite a small amount. So while they're certainly good in CQB, individual skilled players, the amount of weight that 4 people can really do, it's not a whole lot. But
all right,
exceptional players. And that is it for BLUFOR. They are playing as the Greeks this event, and obviously we have the REDFOR as well, which are the Turks. The Turks are occupied by the SIG, kind of the mirror of the CSF, as it were, kind of an Italian clan who are primarily co-op players, but commendable in PvP. Certainly commendable in PvP, but primarily co-op. The BL, these are people who do co-op and PvP on a regular basis, and have been doing so for many, many years. So these people are quite skilled. I rate them quite highly as well.
Okay.
The ANROP, now I think you've seen the ANROP before. This is Arma Sweden. They are very, very good. I think they do a bit of co-op, but they're definitely not to be valued as like standard issue co-op players. They're very, very good.
Gotcha.
I rate them very highly as well. I wouldn't rate them as the best team on REDFOR though. This comes up next. This is the FJB 49. This is a kind of amalgamation of any German player like the Czechs are, but these guys are exceptional. They are your standard issue kind of people who can not just attack. The 19th are very good at attacking, but they're quite flawed in every other aspect. The FJB are your most well-rounded PvP clan, I think, at this event. They have the numbers to be useful in mostly every scenario. They have the willpower and the discipline to be able to hold objectives, which something in the 19th, for example, is very flawed in. And they also have quite a commendable attack as well. They're very, very good. They're people, key players of the FJB who I think we should watch out for. I think they're going to do exceptionally well. Are Pogo, Carl Chrono, and Roland. Exceptional players. I think they'll do very well. And lastly, we come to the D2506, a American European clan who have quite recently attended us, but have already proved they're very good. These people are probably on the same level as the ANROP. There are not as many of them, to be fair, so they can't, like the Czechs, they're flawed by their own numbers to a certain extent. They're still very, very skilled players. I think that's the teams we have against each other. I think it should be an interesting battle. We're on Altis, which is a standard issue map. I don't know what you're thinking about the map. Just look at the map right now. What you think? What comes to mind?
So we have BLUFOR starting at core at their HQ, REDFOR at Galati. REDFOR has a military base immediately on a hill nearby. Refugee camp appears to be in Sirta. We got a military base in Sirta closer to BLUFOR, so BLUFOR has a bit of a better angle at getting into it, but OPFOR has good eyes over the entire objective based off of what is right next door. But a few other questions I want to ask you, NASA, for this is this a one life event between both groups?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
If you die, you are out completely.
Gotcha.
This is made more interesting, let's say, because this mission takes place at 3 o'clock in the morning. This is a completely dark event. You have access to night vision scopes and NVGs.
Gotcha.
So not too bad, but certainly going to be an interesting one. We don't do night vision nighttime missions too much. It's quite a rarity.
Yep, I would say that for any PvP event.
Indeed, right? They're usually seen as the bane of PvP, you could even say. They're not viewed upon too favourably, I think would be completely fair to say. But no, I think it should be interesting. The objectives we have are a refugee camp, which is a cap zone, which means at the end of the mission, if somebody is inside there more than the other team, they will gain that victory.
By 2, right?
By 2, indeed, right? We have the BLUFOR HQ and the REDFOR HQ. These are both destroy objectives. BLUFOR will defend their HQ, REDFOR will defend their HQ, and both teams will blow each other's up.
Gotcha.
Pretty simple stuff, but quite a challenge for some of them. I'm looking at the BLUFOR HQ, and I think that part of the map isn't very enjoyable to fight over. That's all I'm saying. There's a really big hill which looks on that objective.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be great. But I don't know. What do you think about that one? That area particularly of the town of Corey?
So, with Corey, obviously there's the little military base at 0.61 at 068, 160, but I don't think that's going to be really useful here because of where the AO is sited. I do know the big hill on Amoni Point next to Corey, that has a lot of big open ground, and it's a very steep drop-off with not even any concealment nor cover. So it's good to get a group up there to get overwatch of the town, but it's going to be hard to try to find little peepholes to fire at. However, this being a night objective does open a lot of opportunity to put 1 or 2 people up on that large mountain to just scout and then possibly guide in a strike team. There are 2 big routes. I probably don't want to draw on the map, so I'll just give some references. At 070069 down to 067065, there's a really nice galley there. I guess a gully would be a better term, where you can get up to a little hill with some windmills over at 163 at point 106. That's a good overwatch point to kind of, stage from. But there are a lot of ways you can get into core using cover to cover from the low ground while you're having overwatch from the big ridge. Especially at night, it's going to make it a little harder to defend that point. But BLUFOR's objective is in the center of the town, so they can make some perimeters and play it close with CQC. But you've told me that there's a lot of really good players on both sides, so I'll be interested to see that.
I have... I stand by that. We have excellent... These are people who play TVT on the weekly. This is not new to most of these clans. These clans do this on the weekly, and have been doing that for quite a while. So I expect high things. I hope I'm not disappointed. But no, now we can actually have a look at the map. Vehicle-wise, we're looking pretty even on both sides. I would say one thing, if anything, it probably favours the REDFOR and the Turkish side, because the JLTV is a very beefy vehicle.
Yep, so looking at both sides here, let's look back to OFCRA now that I've gotten a notice of both of them. Yeah, that rear MRAP, definitely from RHS, can take quite a beating. I'm not sure if you have any mods that respec configs at all, but...
No, this will be a standard issue RHS MRAP, and it is very beefy. I could easily see this thing taking 2, maybe even 3 rockets.
Yeah, I am not well versed in BW mod to comment on the BLUFOR's MRAPs, but I doubt they are as effective as RHS's, because RHS, they have an MRAP fetish, let's be honest. There's so many that they just keep releasing, and every time it's a new one, but I'll be curious to see how that goes. BLUFOR already has a guy unconscious on their side. Don't know what happened there.
Oh, not very good. Yes. So a key feature, one of our prided features of these events is the ability to punch people. We have the punch mod.
Oh, that mod. Yep, that knocks people unconscious. Okay.
One of our pride and joy, in fact.
So you have melee, is what you're telling me.
We do indeed have melee.
That's in fact, amazing.
That usually would be quite irrelevant outside the beginning bit for people messing around, but on a night mission, I could very plausibly see...
Oh, in CQC, one guy could easily sneak behind. What's your timer for using that between units, or is it just an infinite spam?
It is I think it maybe has a 2 or 3 second downtime, to be fair, but that's nothing, right? That's very easy to spam.
That's messy, man. I haven't seen that since my Star Sim days, man.
I could definitely see it proving quite useful here. If we look at the equipment, I think we're seeing a lot of MK18s and a lot of HK416s. So pretty the issue, well, not an issue, but the reality of fighting what is Turks versus Greek-related armed forces here is it's primarily a lot of blue-on-blue kit.
Yep.
So it's which is quite nice because it means that the scales are very, very even. This is going into this outside the JLTVs. I think it's a very, very balanced get-go.
Seen both sides have lasers and/or flashlights as well as suppressors as well.
Yes. Each side has 2 special forces squads for this one.
All right.
These special forces squads get access to their suppressed weaponry, but outside of that, they're very similar. If we look on BLUFOR, we can see some people shooting laser lights into the sky, like they're some kind of rave, which is very cool, of course. I think we'll see a lot more of that during the mission as well.
Well, if both sides have NVGs, that's very risky to do because someone can just trace that laser up and find your location, so might not be the smartest idea, but we'll see.
Speaking of not the smartest idea, have you seen these motorbikes at the beginning of the convoy?
Yes, there's 5 on each side.
That seems like a death trap if I've ever seen one. What do you think about those?
Well, think about it. Because it's at the front of the convoy, I'd assume that's supposed to be a bit of a recon element. So, you know, guys can get on that and immediately drive up to positions. But that's one of the, I believe that's a 3CB asset. And I do know they have a speed limiter because if they, according to Everick, who's one of the devs of 3CB, if they didn't have that speed limiter, it would be nearly impossible to drive that thing because it would, since it's built off of a quad bike model, you know, if you do the quad bike too fast, it spins out and you lose complete control of it.
Ah, yes.
So with that taken out, though, I mean, these guys, we could see those mounted, doing with a little bit of recon. Both sides, based off of where they spawned, could try to get some vantage points based off of their area. But with any PvP event, it's going to be a matter of which team can maneuver their forces in first and which team still has a plan after first contact, because usually the one that keeps their plan going is the victor, but it's also going to come down to the PvP itself, and you've hyped these guys up, and I'll be excited to see who's able to survive and who gets screwed over.
Indeed, I hope I haven't overhyped these people, in fact. I hope these people will perform to my expectations. But speaking of a very important aspect which you've mentioned, the ability to plan after first contact, we can have a look at the commanders on both sides, because we have a pretty good matchup today. We have on the side leader for the OFCRA is Pogo.
Right.
Now, Pogo is the leader of the Fallschirmjäger Battalion 49. He is the German leader. He's a very well-versed TVT leader. The man has been leading TVT for, I think, at this point, maybe even beyond 2 years. He's done it every week.
It's amazing.
Quite a few week in, week out for us. He's very, very competent as a TVT leader. I've done it a lot. However, on the other side, we have Flip for Flap. Now, Flip for Flap is the leader of OFCRA on the other side. Now, Flip has been doing this for, I would say, I mean, I think it might even be longer than 4 years. Flip has been doing this for a very long time. And it's interesting because both players have very unique styles. So Pogo is he's very easy to jump to these fast attacks, but also is quite willing to go with these slow attacks. He's not, he doesn't find himself tied down by such as the 19th, for example, who are pretty universal to their fast attacks in these games.
Right.
Rather Flip, on the other hand, I meant as no form of insult, I would put Flip into the careful attack strategy. He likes to have assets lined up, ready, in a coordinated attack. I wouldn't particularly put money on Flip or doing a rush this mission, for example. I wouldn't put money on that. I don't think that'll happen.
All right.
But it's interesting. I think because often we find in other TVT events. So Friday Night Fight, for example, an excellent TVT event. The first of the middle point wins.
Yeah.
This I wouldn't bet money on this one. I think Cirta as a town is quite unique in that its placement in between hills is really rough if you're inside the town. If you can't hold those hills, I think it's a really tough hold. What about yourself?
Well, let's look at the scopes that I'm generally seeing on both sides. I'm going to look at BLUFOR and try to find the scopes people are picking out here. We've got mainly holographics and short-range scopes from what I'm seeing. A few, I thought I saw an ACOG or two, but those might have just been CCOs.
I wouldn't expect anything higher than 4 times, so we try to... In these events, we try and keep that on a minimum, as long as with HE as well. We don't particularly like having lots of high exposures to our missions. It kind of detracts from TVT, we think.
Oh, yeah.
So it's,
no, I can completely understand that. I saw a single RCO or two. Now I'm looking at OPFOR. I'm seeing the same thing. We got some MRCOs. We have They're also called the Pitbull for modded. I'm seeing a few CCO scopes as well. Basically, mostly close range stuff, and then, you know, more important people like team leads, squad leads are getting the more advanced stuff. That's great, in my opinion. I think PvP works better with those types of scopes, because if you have too long range of a scopes, the PvP ends up being, you know, like over 600 to 700 meters of teams just shooting at each other without landing any real kill shots. Now,
Exactly.
the issue with those scope choices and this town is that Cyrda, although it does have a lot of large hills and even some mountains next to it, they're all pretty far from the town itself. The closest ones, which you have on the eastern and southeastern side that kind of overwatch the town, there's a few little rock walls to overwatch everything, but even then, you're kind of pushing the maximum range of most of the scopes you're seeing on both players, so really it's going to force a lot of CQC to come in. However, with Cyrda being kind of, you know, on a higher elevation compared to the areas around it, there's a lot of ways that both OPFOR and BLUFOR can get into the AO, but also utilizing some of the these far hills here to kind of overwatch their moves coming in. So really, if the battle comes down to Cyrda, it's going to be a matter of who has the better overwatch, who has the better units in the town PvPing, but most importantly, who has the better communication between the overwatch element and the unit going into the town itself. Because if that communication can be maintained and the overwatch element can catch the other team's maneuvering, they could easily catch the opposite team out of position and gun them down pretty easily in this one life type operation.
Exactly. I think you mentioned something completely key there, and that is communication. I think on a nighttime map like this, especially on nighttime map, in fact, like this, visibility will be awful. And an issue which will come to mind personally, we have no BLUFOR tracker. If you mark yourself on map, that is the only way you are seen.
Yep.
You can mark yourself on map, you can radio in communication. That is entirely on you. That is all you get, however. I can very easily see team killing be an issue this mission. While these uniforms are very easy to identify outside of nighttime, in the situation that we are in right now, I'm struggling. I mean, I can see the issues. You can tell via helmet. Helmet's a pretty nice tell. We can see the Greek helmet is a camo collared, which you can recognize in the dark. And the Turkish helmet is a lot more just a grey color, not particularly fancy. I think that will be the real change of how we go off here, see if we get any team kills or not. And we're off.
Yep. Usually for night ops, I see players play it a lot more cautiously because it's a lot harder to spot the enemy, but with that caution, they can also maneuver a bit better because they know they've got a bit of darkness. But for this op, you know, both sides have NVGs, and both sides, as you said, have NVG-capable scopes, so we'll see how things go. But looking at how things have started, looks like BLUFOR opted to not take any of the bikes. We're seeing some groups break off to go to the BLUFOR HQ. Some looks like they're going to break off and not head to the refugee camp. Based off of these roads, they might actually try to rush the REDFOR HQ. Meanwhile, we see something possibly similar for OPFOR. It's hard to tell because the path to the BLUFOR base and the refugee camps share a similar MSR from the looks of it, but a lot of units breaking off to go to the refugee camp and a few units going to the HQ. Interesting.
Very interesting.
And then we have a lot of OPFOR guys that haven't even gone out yet, so BLUFOR is going to get a little bit of an advantage here because they're deploying a little more quickly. But I'm very curious to see what's going on with BLUFOR because we got two vehicles going down the MSR just west of, east into Altis itself. Potentially a wide flank into the HQ as this vehicle with a few guys starts passing through Orino to possibly, I'm thinking, get on Hill 153 and start scouting out Galati.
This is a classic maneuver. These people who see zooming by Orino are the CZ. These people, as I said before, they're known for being very, very good TVT players. Granted, there's not a whole lot of them, but these people thrive in these kind of put them up front recon environments. These people are exceptionally good at hiding and also giving out great intel. So I'm not at all surprised to see these people zooming down the center of the map.
Yep. Meanwhile, for the flank, it looks like we have 2 teams of 5, so 10 guys total going on that wide flank. Then the rest of BLUFOR looks like they're going to pull defensive on the HQ. Now, you said In terms of capturing the refugee camp, it doesn't matter who gets there first. It's whoever holds it by the end of the fight, right?
Exactly, yes.
All right. Now, it looks like OPFOR is also sending a large attack. They're breaking away from going through to the refugee camp itself. They might try a wide flank, possibly get to the factory section, which is west of core, and then stage their attack from there. So that should be interesting.
All right, and we see here the Czechs have dismounted. I presume they're going to take up a local hill to their position, and I think they may proceed on foot from now on.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting.
That's
I
kinda
thought they
funny.
might have gone a little bit further for a rush, but it appears they're not going to do that, which is a shame because I think if they had stayed mounted, they maybe have made it to the REDFOR HQ before the REDFOR team, which I can see now is the 506 section, would have made it there. So maybe shoot themselves on the foot there a little bit with their caution.
Now, I am also reading in global chat, looks like whoever made this mission forgot to unscript the radio protocols of OPFOR's VIX because they got some BLUFOR VIX, or at least from BLUFOR faction, so you have to always rescript the TFAR properties from that. Otherwise, you'll be able to hear each other's LRs. So they called that out and decided to switch frequencies here, so, you know, there wouldn't be any unfair advantage. I kind of like seeing that. Shows that, you know, a community that runs this type of stuff isn't that toxic, because I know of plenty places that would use something like that to their advantage and not mention it.
Yeah, that sticks with one of our rules. One of our rules here, and one of our prime ones, is no radio stealing. This is quite important for us because with some events allow radio stealing, and it is a purely negative to the English-speaking players. People who are from the international scene will be able to speak multiple language and then also listen in onto the English frequencies, and just leaving the English players at a massive disadvantage. And it's rather to be done with all of that, to be and not have any of it. And I see here that we've already cleaned it up, so that I'm glad the lads here have came together and already solved such an issue. We will in the future have that is an oopsie on the mission maker's part, but that is fine. It seems to be solved quite quickly, and everything's fine on that regard. I will say it is interesting that we have the teams paralleling each other to a certain extent. REDFOR deploying quite far on the west, same with BLUFOR. I think REDFOR might be trying to snipe the BLUFOR HQ unannounced to how many BLUFOR are in fact sitting there. I think they may come to a surprise.
Well, same for BLUFOR with the amount of vehicles. That looks like we're following that OPFOR push to the BLUFOR HQ. Now OPFOR instead has been redirecting some of its units into the HQ specifically. So bit of a mirror match at the start. It's just BLUFOR is in a little bit of a better position because they're already getting Overwatch and eyes on the central objective and REDFOR's HQ. So we'll see how they're able to guide it in, but it's, again, going to fall to the PvP because we're going to have 10 guys fight at least half of OPFOR's force at the HQ itself.
I must quickly give my commendations to the DT506. They did in fact take the bikes to their hill, which is a task I think is fraught with danger. So I must commend them for their driving skills there. That could have very easily turned to a fireball. I know myself that would have definitely turned to a fireball. Driving those things is incredibly hard. But it's certainly a risk reward. They can go very, very quick for sure.
Hey, interesting enough, those guys have actually spotted the BLUFOR scout. We've got a machine gun lined up, 2 guys looking that way. They're well out of range here, but if you look at that Overwatch point, I mean at night no less, with no thermals, that's pretty good. So they're gonna track BLUFOR heading up this valley area. It's just a matter of BLUFOR, it looks like actually does spot OPFOR as well. I'm seeing some return binoculars. Because that is a bit of an obvious spot to scout out. So with both of these factions now knowing that where each other is, how are they going to respond? Where is BLUFOR going to maneuver? Are they going to try to break line of sight? Where are they going to go? Is OPFOR? Yep, that is the GPMG firing at the advancing group. At that range, it's going to be very difficult for them to land any hits. We're seeing a bit of a wide suppression here. It's more so to just impede BLUFOR's momentum here, possibly to push them back. But what OPFOR needs to do to follow up with this is actually send a group down and sweep them up. But the risk with that is, you know, where could potentially other BLUFOR units be? But since this is a one-life event, you want to basically divide and conquer your enemy as best as you can. And since this is going to be a 90-minute operation, the earlier you can do that, the better you're going to be for your team. It's just you got to make sure with that risk comes with that reward comes the risk, excuse me, of if you send guys down there, they still have to be better at PvP than the group that you're trying to engage, because you could easily send people to their death to get wiped. So we'll see how it goes.
I can't see it ending well for the Czech squad, to be honest with you. If they seem to be pushing further forward, but I don't know about you, but I don't see any better cover for them further forward. This is a terrible valley to be in, and one which I think they have to disengage from. I can't see this ending well for them if they carry on their path.
Yeah. There are some riverbeds that can let them get to the refugee camp or into town, but the one into the REDFOR Base, aka the town, I mean, it's perfectly overwatched here, so I think we're actually seeing BLUFOR pulling back here, knowing that this is not going to be a good vector. Now, it doesn't really help. I realize this now, but if you go out of night vision and you look at the hill they were on, they left their lights of their Vic on. So it's actually a wonder that they didn't get spotted sooner, if you ask me.
Oh my god, they did. I think that mistake, I mean, they're lucky that mistake didn't end up costing them more lives, to be honest with you, or any lives at all, because that could have been a disaster for the Czechs. That is an awful valley to get caught in. However, intentional or not, maybe this was the plan all along for them to get caught, but to their benefit, this focus now that's been placed upon the Czech position, it is working very well.
It is pulling eyes away. Yep.
Yeah, the CSS to the north, they went on a very, very large flank to the east, and are coming back around now. They should be in a prime position to take this hill, so long as the Czechs keep their attention. It's it's anyone's game at this point in time, but it's pretty worrying that such a team has been able to get their entire two sections, in fact, round the back. That is, they would be in an excellent position to flank if they can pull it off.
OFCRA might try something similar, but BLUFOR, because of all the hills around core, are a little more concentrated around the town itself. They've got a lot of good eyes to look around and spot for any potential attacks. They might be able to catch OFCRA's wide flank out of position here, but BLUFOR, looking at the path they're going, they've got quite a bit of leeway to go in, but I do see one potential riverbed they could, use to get in, but OFCRA's eyes on Overwatch have definitely pulled around to focus on that southern group of BLUFOR. Excuse me 1 second, I got a bad case of hiccups.
That is completely fine.
Why, buddy?
But no, if we look at the town of Galanti, we can see that the REDFOR have chosen to defend it with 3 separate sections here. We can see that on the hill, we have the 506 and the command section at that, so we can see Pogo and Max Riemann also there. That is the REDFOR command section. A loss of those two would be a crippling blow for REDFOR. We see the 506, I must point out key players now in this defensive position, I think they may pull this one. Lieutenant Steele, Cheeseburger, and McElston, if he is there. I think he is there. McElston is indeed there. All 3 of those are exceptional players. The SIG are on the ground on this one, so hopefully if they can just hold Galanti from this rear attack, then everything should be fine. The people on the hill will do what needs to be done. And lastly, just to the south of the SIG, we have the BL. The BL standout players are Always and Thunder. Those 2 are very, very good, I think. But they are in quite an odd spot, I think. I don't think if the Czechs or the CSF from the rear manage to attack, the Italian squad to the east will be able to in position to give much help, I don't think. I think that they'll definitely have to reposition if they'd like to do very well. However, I think we should put that one on pause for a second and look down into the west. I think the REDFOR and the BLUFOR are coming very, very close to blows, I think, at this point in time. We have at least one, that is the ANROP coming in. We have behind ANROP the second squad of ANROP, then the second squad of the FJB, and a third squad of FJB. We have 2 separate teams coming into the south. It's, I might imagine, 2 of the best teams the REDFOR has to offer, so they really are putting their eggs in this basket, I think.
Yep, so we've got a group of 4 and a Vic, we have another group of 4, we have a group of 4 and a group of 3, 4, 4, 4, 3 would be 15 players total.
Yeah.
By the way, BLUFOR on the northern push, they've dismounted their Vics. They're going to start possibly coming down through the riverbed to get right in that town, and OFCRA has no good eyes overwatching that vector, so that'll be a bit interesting, but I'll be curious to see where OFCRA
Speaking of eyes
Dismounts.
overlooking the sector, we have Goatland, Regal, and 8E, who is known as Gareth Hawk, who are overlooking the first ANROP vehicle coming in right now. I think if they're shot, they could easily see it.
They're not. I don't see them specifically looking in that vector, though. I'm not seeing any reaction either.
That's a bit worrying, isn't it?
Oh, wait. Nope, we just saw it. We just saw it.
We have a confirmed visual, I think. Yep, they've definitely seen it at this point in time.
You know when they ID it, because everyone immediately turns their head. People immediately pull the binos out. But I mean, two guys were literally like, one was turned around, one was looking like more towards the right. There was a potential for them not to see it, but looks like OPFOR is going to drive up this road, potentially dismounting where the bunker is, and then try to come up through the forest. But now BLUFOR knows that OPFOR is going to make this push, and if they do some vehicle counting here, because you know, that is an exposed area for BLUFOR to spot, they could get a rough gauge of who is over there.
For sure. I think this will boil down to especially whether they choose to stand and fight at their pre-allocated positions, or they move to engage REDFOR on their dismount point. I could see advantages and disadvantages both personally, but I think we have some squad in the, see if we look in the south, Roy de Camper, Fact of House Logic, PHK, and Mr. Dave, and Mr. Cool. This is the second squad of 19th. I think at this point in time, they should be moved north. They should know that what they're in, the position they are in, will not be helpful for the future fight. They need to get up and need to go now.
Regardless, I'll be curious to see where OPFOR deploys its units on route. I'll be curious to see if BLUFOR tries to set up some sort of ambush. I'm seeing Goatland scouting out a few bushes. Actually, I think he's being sent ahead to try to go check things out, but it looks like Rigel and Garrett are going to join him to get a little bit of a closer PID on where the movement's going to be specifically. Now, question for you, NASA.
Gunfire again from the 5 or 6 position onto the checks once again, so they're doing their job of making a distraction. Sorry, go ahead, what was your question?
Are they allowed to steal each other's guns?
Yes, they are. We are allowed to steal guns, we're allowed to steal vehicles, but they have no weapon on them higher than 50 cal, and we are allowed to steal ammo and stuff like that. Just basically, what you are not allowed to steal is radios and uniforms. Those two were a big no-no, but that's standard stuff, I think, for most TBT.
I know there are some places out there that let you steal radios if you're given the opportunity to, but it does usually throw a monkey wrench in a bunch of plans, but usually those are the multi-life ones anyhow. So we still have... Go ahead.
Radios being stolen, purely as if they are a mono-language group, however. That's where my personal issue comes from. For American events, I think, are primarily pretty good for that kind of stuff. There's really no issues there. I mean, there may be like a South American clan or a Mexican clan, for example, who may be the winners of such a scenario. But outside of that, I think it's a pretty no win, no foul. I think no harm, no foul rather. Deal. Checks yet again taking the attention of that 240. It is quite a lot of rounds have been sent in their direction, but I feel like not a whole lot have been hitting them, which is, I think, for the Czechs, doing their job just fine.
They're just trying to suppress BLUFOR, but that's exactly what BLUFOR wants, because there is a massive lack of eyes to the north on OPFOR's position. And I feel like that push over at Coroni with those 6 guys is a bit of a waste of manpower. Actually, I think it's 7. I think they're, just trying to get into a position where they can overwatch groups coming in to try to catch them off guard. But with both of these groups doing such good tactics, I think it's kind of a bad thing that they have, how would I put this? OPFOR's overextended to try to expect an obvious push from the east, but BLUFOR predicted something like that, was able to completely circumvent it with this advanced tactic, because I don't think I've ever seen like a proper distraction used in Arma. We literally have a BLUFOR guy on the hill like doing the friendly wiggle up there. I mean, if OPFOR was smart, they'd realize that they are being baited right now, and they'd be looking around for that next angle, because at this point BLUFOR is just toying with them, but they should expect that something's gonna happen soon.
If you speak of something happening soon, I think it's about to happen here. We have currently the 19th Squad 1 is up against the Swede squad, and the FJB within 200 meters of each other. Very, very close. I can see that the 19th squad has chosen to sally forth as opposed to fall back, which I think is classic 19th strategy. Maybe not the smartest, but certainly the most aggressive, and I can respect that. Whether it pays off, however, is dependent on their PvP very shortly, in fact. And I don't see it looking too well, in fact, for Arma Sweden. I think once they come over that hill, I think they'll be very open to being shot at. I'm curious what their plan is. Seems like a hard angle they've put themselves in.
I mean, OPFOR is making a pretty good battle line here. I don't think they're gonna maintain it to go over the hill, because that's just grounds are getting spotted. Rather, I think they're just trying to find a way to maneuver into this objective without being detected. But I don't think they know that BLUFOR has already found them. You see on the windmills in the town itself, they've dug a pretty nice fortification around these windmills, anticipating OPFOR to come out on this side. I mean, yeah, no, that's perfect.
That is an incredible fortification dug there by the 6-BAT. Or 6-BAT, rather. I think it's... That's going to be quite hard to shift, because for example, last mission of the campaign, they were given HMG trucks and M113s, so that, and a heavy machine gun with fixing those kind of positions can really make the difference. But especially without those kind of assets, you really do rely on your MMGs, I feel.
I'm trying to find a way that OPFOR is going to be able to get around this, but honestly, the fortification BLUFOR has dug is very, very good. I mean, if OPFOR continues, they're going to be in a big kill zone. If they displace and head more north, then they're just going to be completely out of position, but at least they'll try to make a maneuver. But I don't see OPFOR having a way out of this one unless they somehow win the PvP fight, which I doubt because of the range of these scopes. But it's also going to be on the matter of if BLUFOR is able to spot OPFOR's advance, because OPFOR might be able to get a scout or two up there, see that entrenchment, and then decide to go down the ridge going south, but then they'll run into the 3-man group. So I know we talked about Core being potentially the tougher town to defend, but BLUFOR has done a really good job taking the terrain around it and really just finding the advance of OPFOR and suppressing it. But we have the other half of the OPFOR push. Looks like they're going to try a different angle just to keep themselves spread out, which I do like, because, you know, you never want to put all your eggs in one basket, especially in a one-life operation.
Definitely. I think a lot of this will boil down to the attack in the north. I think REDFOR currently do not have the men needed in the south, despite having very good teams there, very good for sure, but they are outgunned and they're definitely outnumbered. So the decision has to be to hold off this attack until the north is free to move. And the north won't be free to move after they've taken contact and defeated it, which I think is a scenario which will happen to them very, very shortly. The CSF are within 300 meters, I think, of the REDFOR HQ. The question is now whether they get spotted. So and I think that will be the deciding factor.
Real quick on the northern group, some of those OPFOR guys on the far eastern flank have actually remounted. Looks like they're doing a ferry to get to the west of that Czech group, potentially to go up there and try to sweep that position out. The question is, we see a BLUFOR guy lasing one of the OPFOR guys. So the Czech guys have spotted this. And they're lasing each other. We got some shots being exchanged, but at this range, it's going to be very difficult to hit with only 5.56 rifles. But we could see Anamin always here getting that motorcycle and drive off. They might also catch this Humvee moving here, because it looks like it's stopped. But BLUFOR might know that there's going to be an OPFOR push on them, and they, being the distraction force, might try to pull away. Oh my god, sneezes. Sorry, I just had to sneeze there, but...
It's completely fine.
BLUFOR is... Go ahead.
I think it's going to be an interesting firefight here between these two RGT and the Czechs. The Czechs obviously have the high ground, however, the RGT do have the advantage of having an MMG set up right there on the hill, ready to give themselves covering fire if they wish to move up. this may prove enough, but I would be surprised personally. I think the Czechs obviously are very good players, and also they're in an entrenched position. They've been in there for at least 10 to 20 minutes. These people know what they are, they know what their threats are going to be coming from. I think they'll be prepared for this.
That BLUFOR advance, though, from the north, they're going to be following a riverbed. Then it's going to be a little in the open, but there's a lot of room for concealed maneuvering. We do have OFCRA. I have seen on this little cop up here, guys with binos kind of looking around. I think they know something's up. Whether or not they're actually going to be able to catch this BLUFOR advance in time is anyone's guess, though. Because if those BLUFOR guys, it's about 10 of them, get into the town, it's going to be a pretty even fight. Until we will potentially have QRF from OFCRA pull in, but then BLUFOR also has some QRF they can send from that distraction element.
Oh, break! We have the 19th Squad 1. I believe they're going to peek over the hill. I think they might find us get sort of surprised. They find the entire Swede squad there. That might prove lethal. However, at the last opportunity, the Swedes are looking the entirely wrong way. So I think there's a realistic chance both ships pass each other in the night.
No, it is quite possible here. I see a lot of the Swedes. They're looking more east and north. They're not really pulling any southern security. I don't see a single pair of eyes looking that way. So that's a bit of an issue. I always stress in my PvE communities the importance of 360 security against AI, but against players, it's also important. But Gotland might completely miss them here. It's also going to be a bit tough to spot them in the first place, because no matter what type of camo you're wearing at night, it's going to blend in since everything's basically green and black.
And especially if you're standing still. And I don't think the Swedes have moved for at least 5 minutes. These people have been stood like statues waiting for the Pogos all clear to attack.
Now, it is interesting to note that there is an OFCRA section here about to get on top of where Gotland's team was. So had they had stayed there in the first place instead of gone hunting, BLUFOR would have been able to see this other advance in what appears to be a pincer maneuver strategy. That's going to be a little bad for BLUFOR here, but at the same time, BLUFOR has a numbers advantage here, so we got to take it at face value. But I think that team is waiting for this other team to get into an overwatch position to kind of scout out the town, and then from there, the other half of the pincer will maneuver. But that could be completely thrown out the window if this BLUFOR team manages to spot that other pincer.
I can't say that I see this ending well for the FJB here. They might take the positions that the 19th one was previously holding. However, what do you gain? You gain 3 windmills and 12 people looking at your position with machine guns.
True.
I don't think it's a good trade, personally. If I was, your bird's eye view makes everything a lot easier, I suppose. But if I was the FJB here, I don't think taking out Hale should be a priority. I think going up the little gully to the left of their position is a far easier route and a far safer route than going over the top. I think going over the top risks seeing a lot of dead Germans. Oh, and speaking of in the top, we see the CSF buried 200 meters away from the objective. This is a very, very close maneuver, and they went just as you said through the slight depression in the ground. I think it's a very
little
short
riverbed.
Riverbed. They'll have to do an open run to get into the town, but nobody's looking at it. Nobody's looking at it.
They could also go, just completely follow this riverbed down, stay in the concealment, and then they've got 2 riverbeds that are going to actually lead them right into the town. So they could either do the little risky dart over 30 meters, or they could just keep in the riverbed itself. But that does take them a little bit off course, but it's going to be a matter of what they want to risk. Meanwhile, that distraction team is still being a distraction. They're firing at the OFCRA group that was coming up to try to maneuver on them, and I've also seen some rounds from the cop that OFCRA has fired down at him.
That is yes, I think it's got quite key. In fact, Massacre has access to an MG4. An MG4 is a god weapon. This thing shoots over 1,000 rounds. This thing will be a beast. However, I suppose it comes at the expense. It's a very, very bright barrel flash from that thing. So I think it is a mutually assured recognition of where each other's sections are, but at the cost of shooting a lot of rounds very quickly downrange on the enemy. And I think that might prove pivotal for what is a very, very long engagement. I mean, this is an easy 1,000 meters engagement, would you not say, between the Italians?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, about 900, definitely. Just at glance.
Very far. Very far. I think in these long engagements, I think it's proven that machine guns win you them. That even if you don't get kills, having an enemy be so scared as not to
I'm
push
getting
up
the Corona.
is a
Stop it.
victory. It truly is a victory.
Now, one thing I have been looking at as, those two groups are engaging fire, the southern half of the pincer movement here has started cresting the ridge on the right. I have seen a little bit of movement, and that southern BLUFOR group have been looking over there. I haven't seen any confirmed eyes on yet, but I keep seeing binos pulled out. I'm looking at people's first persons, trying to see if they get any exact spots on the OPFOR group moving in, but if that BLUFOR group is careless, they will get spotted by this southern, if that OPFOR group is careless, then BLUFOR's southern group will spot them, and they could easily call on the BLUFOR could make its own pincer on the pincer to counter it, but OPFOR, meanwhile, they're starting to move up as well on the northern pincer. They got to be careful, though, because they might quickly either get caught out of position, but it looks like actually Dahlgren has spotted the little fortified bunker system that BLUFOR has dug here, at least at his angle. It's hard to tell because of when I go into first person on these guys, it gets rid of the night vision. But
it gets very dark, very dark.
I'd be willing to bet that OPFOR now knows where this position is, or he only got a glance at it and didn't think nothing of it. But we'll see if OPFOR continues on this route or not. I'm not seeing any focused eyes on that spot, though, so they might not have seen it just yet. But I'd be willing to bet they're going to any minute now.
I think if I could take your attention to the north, the CSF, they are doing some amazing, only commendable solid snake roleplay here. We have upwards of 10 people currently shifting through the long grass. These people are doing an amazing job. This is purely the guarantee of, in fact, getting to that town sneakily. It's quite long for certain. However, I can almost guarantee these people will not be seen through to their shimmying maneuvers. This is very, very intelligent, because it'd be quite easy, I think, from their hidden position to order the charge on the town, to quickly move in and just run it in. But that is a very risky maneuver.
Yep, I agree with that, but OPFOR is not having any good eyes on that area's northeastern flank, and that's what BLUFOR is exploiting here. Whether or not BLUFOR knows that is anyone's guess. They're just kind of trying to hope that the distraction they've made will help them out. But BLUFOR's check team, they've actually mounted up, and they are going to probably try to charge this cop to get on Overwatch here. But OPFOR, it looks like they've completely lost eyes on BLUFOR, because I'm not seeing anyone looking over to see that position. I do have one guy in a tower looking in the direction where the car might come up, but from what I can tell, no one really knows where each other is, and it is still pitch black outside.
Truly. I think I'll hear it. I think we're about to get contact very soon, in fact. I think these checks, if they can get into a position to attack, what's all the more worrying here is in between the intended target of the 506 is the REDFOR side leader, Pogo, and his co-commander.
Yep.
A loss to that would all but cripple the southern attack, which has been waiting for so long for a coordinated strike, and so commendably, in fact. They played so patiently, so cleverly, waiting for that combined strike, and that all goes up in flames if Pogo dies it.
So OPFOR, they have not seen the vehicle go right up to that radio tower. The guy that was looking in that direction, he isn't looking too far right. And I think BLUFOR is going to do a dismount here, potentially set up and engage. Looks like they went to the far position to try to hide there. But we also have the other BLUFOR group now in the riverbed again. And they are crawling it. They are keeping incredibly cautious here. They do have time. They haven't been spotted. They want to keep pushing this advantage because this riverbed could easily let them get right on top of the town. If I was in BLUFOR's shoes, I'd have the distraction element start firing at the cop again to pull eyes away and then engage from there. But it looks like OPFOR has spotted BLUFOR on that position, and I just noticed a lot of dudes. Everyone is looking at that BLUFOR group. No one is now looking at where potentially BLUFOR could come in from. So that's quite interesting. I'll be curious to see where that southern OPFOR group goes as well. They might not think that there are multiple groups here.
I think it's quite a risky maneuver, though, I must say. it's quite easy. Well, maybe that's a bit far. It's not particularly easy, but it's easier for certain to play the distraction group when you're over 1,000 meters away from a position.
Very
It's
true.
far, far harder to play the distraction when you are quite close and with very, very little cover to work with. This could very easily turn into a massacre of the Czechs, which would be such a shame because they've maneuvered so well up until this point.
So back at the southern group, the northern half of the pincer has spotted that fortified area, and they've all gone... they're laying low right now. A few guys are actually pulling back, but the BLUFOR group is heading south. They could easily catch this OFCRA group out of position, do some serious damage. Looks like the southern pincer is also trying to get eyes on that cop.
Break. We have the 19th one. He's spotted the FJB. They've spotted the FJB, and they have a machine gun. This could prove deadly. You can see Goatland now setting up. AT, Gareth Hawk is setting up as well. So is Regal. This could prove devastating.
Yep.
And the Germans completely unaware. We have.
There's the shots. There's no cover up there.
Excellent return fire from the Germans, but already Roland is dead. He's a key player of this thing. Carl Kroner and Carly is also key players. If they can survive this engagement, it'll look well. But Regal, the squad leader of the 19th one, is already dead.
Well, they're down. They could still wake back up, but it's unlikely.
It's quite hard to get a medic to that position. That looks like a really rough position. But the Germans are giving away now, and they're in a very, very bad position. They've left a rock and a hard place. They can charge the 19th one, which they don't know how many is. It's obviously a very low number. The Germans are unaware of that fact. Or they can go over the top. And going over the top would certainly lead them to death. I would find it exceptionally hard to know if the 19th haven't called them out. 19th 2 on the other hill looking at them will undoubtedly be moved in position to engage now.
Regal got woken up, was trying to bandage. He was still a little too high up because Carl ran up and started engaging him. I'm waiting to see that southeastern BLUFOR group starting to fire on this hill, or at least the cop starting to exchange rounds. But that cop also needs to keep its eyes peeled because that northern pincer is within their sight lines now.
We have smoke grenades coming out from the 19th one. It's probably not a good idea to do that, I feel, in this mission. But I can commend the daytime TVT knee-jerk reactions being moved over into nighttime. They're not exactly the same, I feel, but it's good to know that they're nonetheless. And all the while this is happening, the CSF continues to snake their way into the enemy base.
Yep.
I would hazard that not a single man has stepped up in the past 10 minutes. It truly is very inspirational maneuvers here.
It's important to note that OFCRA Command is actually pulled back on a bike, seeing that the Czech group for a distraction has pulled up close to them. They don't want to be in the fight. They want to keep coordinating. And yeah, Solid Snake group is continuing to crawl up. We got a few guys kind of out and about. I think they're trying to look up at the cop over there, but they got to be careful. I just saw one of them temporarily put a flashlight on for a second, probably to check a map. And they do have, at least I thought I saw some sort of marksman down there, but no, it's all CCO scopes. So they're going to get right on top of that objective, but right now it's not.
This mission are Roland and Barros K from the FJB. It's true, that might hurt the FJB quite a lot. Those two are quite good players.
Yeah, but BLUFOR, they've just driven a group up here to try to close this pincer maneuver that BLUFOR has ended up making on this group. They could fire down, and I think the smoke grenades were part of baiting. Because now OPFOR, thinking that BLUFOR is pulling back, they're going to advance up to the smoke, and now they're caught out of position for BLUFOR guys dismounting on that hill. These guys are in trouble.
Beautiful. We've seen here 19th 1 do the bait and 19th 2 take the kills. If they can finish off the FJB here, I think the southern attack is in shatters.
There's still a chance with the northern group, but at that point, the numbers advantage BLUFOR has is just going to get worse. What I'm curious to see is Ezio from OPFOR get up. He could easily catch some of these BLUFOR guys out of position. And if he times his shots, he could easily get a headshot or two. Now you're seeing some suppressive fire coming up from BLUFOR as they try to make this pincer maneuver, but Ezio instead is going to try to put shots on that machine gunner.
The issue we find here is that 19th 2 on top of the hill, it really isn't very good engagement. You are skylining 100% of the time. There is no way to take cover and also engage the FJB. They're still in a very good position, but it's not a great engagement.
Yeah, we saw Royd just skyline right there. He took shots from within that house, but if BLUFOR could close this pincer, they could easily take out these OPFOR guys. We have Ezio being forced to push back because of BLUFOR's fire. What BLUFOR needs to now coordinate is to BLUFOR to say, hey, you got OPFOR guys pushing your southwestern flank. Rocket going into that building and annihilates Bernie. Holy crap.
God. Decimate.
Oh, the humanity.
We've got Mr. Cool, also known as Jonathan, part of the 90s, is sallying forth. We have a charge going on, I believe. I don't think this will end particularly well, but it's very, very cool nonetheless.
Now we have Ezio doing that flank I was talking about. He's going to get on the northeastern side, actually eastern side here, possibly shoot BLUFOR in the back if he can get close, because BLUFOR is being tunnel vision right now. Again, lack of 360 security. Ezio could definitely get a kill or two in here and definitely settle the score.
Certainly.
Meanwhile, BLUFOR group, they're right on the edge of the town within at least 50 meters of getting inside. Still playing it cautious. They got to be careful because Hood on that cop is looking down into the town. Could potentially catch him out of position.
And Golden gets dropped.
Ooh, yeah, no, he was running up, but unfortunately misgauged where OPFOR was. I think he was trying to run up to breach and clear that house. And there's Ezio's push. He's going to catch Nubas out of position.
Oh, shit. Nubas
and
attention.
There he goes.
Dropped.
But there's also 2 dead guys in that building itself, so Ezio on 3 kills. He could, but he's getting shot at by the cop. But now the northern pincer is starting to fire at the cop to try and distract him.
Oh, shit, that was an excellent grenade. Excellent grenade from 6-Bat.
True, though, the guys in there are already dead, though.
True, but I think it was aimed at Ezio.
By who, though? Everyone up there was dead.
Oh.
So I think it was Ezio just putting a grenade in there to make sure that the guys in there were dead specifically. That or a bad frag. But looks like we just had OPFOR double tap Goatland. Roid Camper, though, pushed up on the left flank, just executed somebody. So there's only 3 OPFOR guys left on this pincer. Ezio, though, got 3 good kills in there, but he's gonna be at a little bit of a disadvantage here, depending on what radio he has to communicate. But lone wolves in this game, they can do a lot of damage as well, so.
Certainly.
Royd is crippled, caught out position, gets knocked out, but that gunfire has given away from Hippie and Mr. Cool to potentially push up on their position. We also have Garrett and Sacred overwatching this southern side. There's BLUFOR shots going out, but a BLUFOR guy gets dropped. That's Hippie. Down in the blown out building. I guess he was poked himself up a little too high. And I think Ezio is chilling in a windmill. He doesn't know if there's more BLUFOR guys up on this hill breaching him, so he's going to camp that out. A good defensive call there. But now BLUFOR again closing that pincer. Carl goes down. Now it's up to Cali. Still no activity on the northern side, but yeah, that northern pincer is starting to push up that position. They did knock a guy out. I'm also seeing 2 dead bodies up there. So OPFOR doing a really good job with that machine gunner. They lined that machine gun up right where BLUFOR had a defensive line, firing right over the trench to actually knock out quite a few dudes here. That was very well done. So even though the southern pincer is kind of fallen apart, there's been a lot of damage done to both sides. OPFOR has an opportunity to get up to the town, but there's still a lot of BLUFOR defenders out here. Really, it's just going to rely on if BLUFOR is successful in that northern attack, which it is a lot more even up there. If anything, BLUFOR actually has 1 more guy than the OPFOR garrison of that town, so it's going to be up to local OPFOR forces to kind of pull in and defend. But this has been a very interesting battle for the tactics, definitely.
The Swedes coming in very, very closely now.
That's another guy get down.
Not many of them left after such a, presumably what was such a grueling walk to get there to begin with.
Yep, OPFOR's pushing grenades into that fortified area now. It just killed one of the young guys that were down, so 3 bodies up there, but that's the dangerous thing about having just a circle of trenches, is that you don't really have any good cover for the grenades. And now, look at that, this is a Spec Ops team coming up. It just, Dahlgren just came up and like straight up executed a guy. He's running up trying to get more kills, but he doesn't check his left and unfortunately gets knocked unconscious. And this suppressed group is definitely doing a lot of damage to BLUFOR here. Meanwhile, the southern part of BLUFOR, actually it's only 2 guys fighting 2 OPFOR guys, so that's kind of fallen apart here as well. BLUFOR's just got to kind of rely on the internal garrison of the position itself to make amends with the OFCRA group that's still pushing in. And OFCRA still has those 3 guys on Overwatch, but it looks like they're trying to pull them back. And then we have Ek here, who I thought was going to be the team lead, but no, it's actually Alex who's pushed up as well. But now these BLUFOR guys, they're stuck in the windmill, so if OFCRA can get up there and put some grenades in, that would be devastating. But I just saw Otoko drop another OFCRA Spec Op guy as well. So we're seeing...
I'm worried here. I'm worried. I think REDFOR could actually do this.
Mm-hmm.
They've got not a whole lot of numbers left, but what they have got right now is doing a large amount of work.
Khalil just got Mr. Cool out of position. There's only one BLUFOR guy on that southern push now. Ezio still camping the building, playing it cautious. I think he's actually looting the bodies here, checking for equipment or whatnot. Unfortunately, the Spec Ops SL just got dropped because he overextended a bit and got shot by the internal garrison. But you still have this one OFCRA guy over here, just kind of maintaining Overwatch to see if BLUFOR pushes out. And one of the BLUFOR guys just bled out in the windmill. So there's only 2 guys up here now. Looking back at the northern flank, BLUFOR still kind of holding just to wait and see. OFCRA hasn't spotted them yet, because otherwise you'd see some fire, because that cop is in a strategically advantageous position. But we still have remnants on both sides. BLUFOR, I would say, having the advantage here. But definitely took a beating for the amount of OFCRA guys that were sent in.
Definitely. I think it depends on what this... Now it comes down to individual skill. Can this lone Swede beat 2 French members of 2 different teams? So, especially because they're 2 separate teams, the chances these 2 people are on the same frequency, I think, is very unlikely. It's it's pretty much a 1 versus 1 versus 1 at this point. I mean, who knows?
So by the way, you guys giving me time checks, this will be over in like 30 more minutes. Actually 40, but, you know, for the hour we have left.
I must say,
makes sense.
As much as I'd like to say REDFOR done commendably, because they truly have done very well this mission, it's hard for me to look at the... Oh, good God. We have a Fact of House Logic is back alive inside the building. I think he must have just... His AI remained there. So it's a 1 for him and Ezio.
Yeah, no, you're right. By the way, Callie went up, killed the other BLUFOR guy, executed all the unconscious guys. He's on 5 kills now.
Callie, a star player of the FJB, a star player of the FJB.
And he's now firing up on the hill just to suppress. I don't think he knows anyone's up there. But yeah, Fact coming up, that's going to be a bit of a distraction for him. But Ezio's still chilling up there just to kind of wait and see, playing it incredibly cautious. And meanwhile, we have... the 2 French guys and the Swedes still up here. I'm going to quickly check north. BLUFOR has started going into that town. There will be a fight there momentarily, but OFCRA's cop in no position to Overwatch because they're still looking for those Czech guys. I think they spotted them again because you see a bunch of eyes going over there, but a lot of target fixation going on, which is denying that 360. But now Callie's going to run up and possibly try to double tap Fact. I hope he doesn't kill Ezio, though, in an accidental blue on blue, because it is going to be tougher to spot with night vision. We have Jonathan getting behind Ek right here, and the French have beaten the Swede.
For now, however, we have 3 more Swedes. The people who run the MMG team to help the president are moving in now. The thing is, the French hold yet another defense. They do see them coming. I see the 6-BAP Okuto can see them coming in right now. I wonder if he can react in time.
He does have a 203.
This would be a really good shot.
But it looks like he's been spotted. Now he's getting suppressed. But that's going to give away OFCRA's position up here because the gun audio is very different. Meanwhile, Ezio and Fact of House... Wow, Fact of House and Ezio getting in a one-on-one, but then Callie came up and shot Fact in the side of the chest. Basically, now Callie knows there's a friendly in there. It's awesome.
I hope he does.
Smoke grenade put out. Ezio trying to come out, probably might try to say something, but Callie being cautious of the windmill. But I mean, he shouldn't because he just saw Fact fire in there, so he should know that something's up, but hopefully there won't be a blue-on-blue incident in there. OFCRA spreading out, but they do have Tackle and Fleece in a building. Swede could easily get caught out of position, and it looks like the 2 OFCRA guys on the south have made contact, so they'll be able to bandage and help each other. That's good. But one of the Otoko, he got caught out of position, and he has been knocked unconscious now.
leaving one last man inside that defense.
Swede's about to be caught out of position. The building just spotted him. So will they now take the shot? This is all on Tackle here. If he's even paying attention, he's right under him, but Tackle might not notice. Tackle, he's right there. Tackle him. Pew pew.
He's afraid it's a friendly unit. He's very afraid, but he has to
He
take the
is.
shot. He has to do it. Come on, dude. The time is running out. Take it.
I think he just doesn't have a good PID. He's Oh, no, there it is. Oh, Swede being shot from a different position. Enfilading fire being delivered. Swede trying to grab cover, but he's crippled. There he goes. Ouch. We still have Bonaza coming up. Might be able to catch Otako and Jonathan out of position as Jonathan tries to desperately administer medical. But Ben pushing up as Stefan's also moving. I'm going to quickly look at the northern corner because BLUFOR is almost right on top of OPFOR's position here. But OPFOR, they're playing this dirty with guerrilla tactics. I think they're just listening for footsteps and only looking at little keyholes here. But I'm really surprised that this OPFOR cop hasn't spotted anything. I see people with people pulling binos out looking around, but they haven't seen shit. And that's actually kind of impressive that whole distraction effort worked. But now we have back over French guy picking up his French guy buddy, carrying him away, and we got a little bit of cover fire going out from that position as they surrender it to the two Swedes that have now taken it, but they don't know that Fleece and Tackle are right here. They could potentially keyhole a shot, though it's going to be through this one awkwardly placed pine tree, and they could potentially do a bit of damage here as well. Looking back up to the north, these CFF guys taking, CSF, excuse me, being incredibly cautious here. Fox is on point on the southernmost group. They have no idea that there is a group of OPFOR across the street here, but they might try to push into that building, but I'd be willing to bet these OPFOR guys are going to hear those footsteps. So first contact in the northern area at REDFOR's HQ any second now. But we'll have to see how OPFOR tries to regroup. 2 teams of 2 versus at least half a dozen, if more than half a dozen, BLUFOR guys. Head count
in this area is the building containing Met and Tokyo Nick.
9
This
dudes.
building is the one that BLUFOR are really going after. Inside it, there's an ammo cache. That's what needs to be blown up. If that goes down, then no matter the sacrifice, that is a victory for BLUFOR. They will not win the mission, but that'll help them quite hard in their way. And I can see one of their numbers being dropped already. So presumably,
I think they accidentally fisted him because I don't see any OPFOR guys alerted. That was, I think, just a misclick by somebody.
I don't see any blood either, right? Maybe they did just fucking punch him in the back of the head.
Hey, Echo, I just heard another. Shh, you're the bait. Just go on point. You'll be okay.
Snake?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. That's a little risky because if
That's a noise, right? The people inside Calonia, I'm butchering these names, but Calonia and Leonessa
I don't get it.
can surely hear the big thunk of the guy getting sucker punched, right?
Yeah, so they have to know something's up. I don't think, if I was Carrie, I'd at least like put my head up and try to look, but I have no idea what that was about. Like, what the heck?
I'd be so confused if I just randomly heard a fisting noise. It is there, like, what is going on here? Like, who's getting punched? What's happening?
So looking back at the southern attack, Tackle was knocked unconscious. Fleece is also bandaging. So the Swedes were able to see BLUFOR's position right there and light it up. They still have a guy with a CMAG to play as a gunner. And I'm also seeing an unconscious symbol. That's actually Otaku getting medics down there. But those two guys still have a little bit of an issue dealing with that massive BLUFOR garrison. But I wonder if they have any comm contact with Kali or Ezio, who they could pull something similar to what the northern groups of BLUFOR have been pulling with OPFOR. If that 2-man Swede group can pull all the eyes away, OPFOR can get that 2-man team right on top of the objective and potentially demo it right on top of, right under BLUFOR's nose.
And throughout all of this, you see Jonathan carrying around his bro, his friend, his man who's been down, trying to get him some.
Oh, they have to know.
Medical aid. Although I have a funny feeling that the OFCRA, because they're on different communications, will not be there to provide. I think it's quite sad. I could easily see this man bleeding out, which is a shame. after all the work they tried to do to defend.
Definitely.
But we see yet again the Czechs remounting. I wonder where they'll go this time. They've been playing this very mobile, this mission.
So, by the way, Northern Group, that 3-man team with the unconscious dude pushed across. That OFCRA garrison knows something's up. They hear the footsteps. I saw Cabrico. I'm again butchering names like you because we're bad at English. But that's okay. Terrible at English. He was now watching the street on the left side, but now he's getting with his OFCRA guy. They're looking back. They know something's up. They're looking around trying to figure out where BLUFOR is, but I would say by now OFCRA is going to start realizing that they have BLUFOR guys right on top of this spot. But, I mean, 3 guys this close, actually no, 6 guys with 2 additional guys on the back and 2 more up the road. They are honestly within striking distance, and there is not that many guys.
The road guys might run to the bike.
The bike does have the commander of OFCRA. They could easily catch him out of position, but whether or not they actually take the engagement is anyone's concern. They have to hear it. But one of the BLUFOR guys just stood up. Might have just been spotted by OFCRA. Because his silhouette against that bush would be very obvious. Turquoise, you're going to hear this a few minutes later, but thanks for the 3-month sub. I just got it. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. Hope you get a kick out of this one. And I hope you get an enjoyment out of this little PvP thing. Again, this is the start of our big dose of streaming. This isn't good. I mean, BLUFOR doesn't know that that's OFCRA ground command, but hold up.
Oh, shots.
And they just knocked Pogo out!
Pogo's down! That's huge!
OFCRA is gonna now know that they're over there. Meanwhile, looking down at the southern objective, it's gone a bit stagnant as that southern pincer. Now it's just a 4-man pincer going into a massive objective, but they're still moving in. Weeman kind of looking out, trying to wonder what's going on, but those suppressed shots are gonna really help kind of quiet that audio down. I'm gonna be curious to see what these 2 OFCRA guys in the building over try to do. And it looks like we also have some an OFCRA garrison. No, wait, they were in that building the entire time. I thought they were trying to close the distance here, but now it's going to be special forces with suppressors versus the command garrison here. I'll be curious to see how that goes. The Czech guys, meanwhile, they've gone back up to the original position that they got the attention of the cop over. But what I want to know now is, oh no, the cop, they're being engaged by the 2-man teams, one by the church right now. Because I think they were ordered to start looking into town to try to see where the BLUFOR positions are. But look at this. We got Weeman trying to drag Pogo into that structure. But that...
They're letting him go.
Yep, I thought that 3-man BLUFOR team was going to go in and finish the job, but no, they're actually coming right on top of this objective. But this southern OFCRA group, they're completely out of position right now. And... honestly, BLUFOR is within easy striking distance of the base. What do they have to specifically blow up in here for it to count, by the way?
Okay, so it's a ammo cache, your standard vanilla ammo cache.
Gotcha, the supply box.
Blows up, yeah, supply box. If this blows up, it's 2 points. I think it's 2 points at least.
Yeah, it's 2 points, if I remember correctly. It's on an Imgur link in my mission command, so I'm sure chat will correct me in 5 or 6 minutes.
Fair enough. It's I must say that there's still 2 guys, and if you look at Melt inside the building, that is a dirty position. In fact, a dirty position. Anyone come through the front door, they are wasted. I find it hard to believe they could win a firefight into that.
So the issue with that type of position, though, is he needs to look up more. And, oh, more shots going off there. It does look like a good position, but it is hard to headshot people without, because you got to prone your weapon. But he is now going to watch these 3 BLUFOR guys come in because of that angle, but he's going to wait them out. And they're probably going to try to breach from the rear, in which case it's going to be up to Tokyo Nick to get him. But he is super exposed right there, and he's crouched, which means his head is at the chest area, whereas, you know, people are going to be aiming center mass. There's the breach. Drops the first guy. That's why you always got to pie the fucking building before you go in, so he's going to get double tapped. Meanwhile, Melt's still going to hold his sector, but
Melt could easily break off here and look at things, he holds his position.
Yep. Oh man, it is a mess. And now we're having the southern OFCRA position. They got an open window to watch the back door. And Nick now gonna re-shut that door and go right back into his spot. Clever girl.
I think this has to be taken from. I think Met has to be taken out. I think CSF, Fox, Mekasso, and Echo are the ones who have to do it. They have to go in from the front and they have to get this done. Because otherwise, I don't think the back's going to work. There's now a team aware and pushing, in fact, who are going to help them out. It's now or never, I feel.
Real quick, though, at the southern base, we have a two-man team that, you know, the vets, Khalil on like 5 or 6 kills. He's on 6 kills. Ezio on 3 kills. They've got a lot of good experience here. They're pulling into BLUFOR HQ, but BLUFOR, again, we're seeing a lot of eyes focusing on that cop. Again, this two-man team could easily take this position out from under BLUFOR's nose because there's only an unconscious guy in the doorway and then one guy actually pulling security here, Mr. White. So... very interesting here. It still could go either way. Both teams could easily finish this objective and get it out. But at the northern group, we've got breaches going in. Shiro doing his best to survive in the corner. Unfortunately, getting taken out by Chicago and Weather. And now it's up to Haplo here, holding that corner to see if units are going to come in. And now we got more BLUFOR guys coming in. They're putting some shots in that garage, but Haplo might try to catch him on the rear. That's exactly what he does. Manages to, oh no, he went down unfortunately, but he got Chicago Bulls caught out of position, but now Weber's gonna be caught out by Echo. And grenades being popped in, but Gig'em tried to go in, probably got into a 1v1. Unfortunately, Leono just bad fragged himself.
Not great, not great.
Not great
Net
indeed.
And Tokyo Nickhover have held this. I think they've done their job. I don't see the CSF coming back from this one. They've held. I think that was the big play, and I think it's been spent a little bit.
Meanwhile, on the southern objective, though, Mr. White has left that building, and OFCRA is right next to this objective, with no one in between them and the actual cache.
This is worrying. You have to think that they'd go back for it. They have to go back for it. Good gunfire.
Yeah, that's Murdy trying to fire up at the 2 Swedes on top, but again, those Swedes, they're doing the exact same play BLUFOR did. They're just playing a distraction, and it's working pretty well right now.
Both sides committed quite a bit to their attack on the opposing HQ, and both sides' attacking force has been melted down. Both sides working with a skeleton crew of what they sent, and yet both sides easily able to do it, I think, on both for both HQs. This is truly a mirror match, I feel, for both sides here.
So, by the way, the Czech group pushing up to the COP as the COP defense force is now going down to try to defend more of the town. We have Echo still in here on his own. He's going to get caught out of position by Melt, though.
Oh, did he peek it? He frags it. It was a good frag.
Yep, gets caught out under, but Melt pushes his head a little forward. Lucky he didn't get any shrapnel right there. Some heavy fire going out. That's making Nick kind of pull around, but Nick has to keep watching his sector. And Jonathan and Callie are right on top of the cache in the BLUFOR building. White went to the building that Callie and Ezio were in. Unfortunately, Nick wasn't continuing to push his sector, so he just got caught out of position by Echo, and now Melt doesn't have anyone watching his rear, but he's turned around. And Echo's trying to win this fight, actually wins it by Melt. So now we have literally both sides on top of each other's caches. By the way, OFCRA has destroyed BLUFOR's cache. Looks like Callie sacrificed himself, Ezio hiding. But OFCRA's attack, even though it fell apart, was successful. Can BLUFOR do the same? We got to see what Echo tries to do here to demo this cache. Again, it's just been textbook mirror here.
Now is the time of sacrifice. I think he needs to go find some frag grenades and do what needs to be done.
Exactly.
It may take his own life. That is a sacrifice I believe BLUFOR are 100% willing to make.
Just to get even at this point.
He's on the clock here as well. You see the 506 are pushing into the objective. Steel and Cheeseburger, 2 very good players. I don't think Echo's got a lot of time. He's going to have to rush it.
By the way, the Czech guys just caught one of the OFCRA guys out of position on a hill. They're also firing down at the OFCRA guys that left the cache. Finally, getting the guys that were harassing them earlier. Steel coming in. Echo doesn't have a lot of time. He's going to get breached in a second. He should have just noticed that door open. Gets the first shot. Oh, they trade.
I believe that the hopes of dreams of BLUFOR taking the objective are gone, I think.
There could still be a counterattack. The Czech guys are still in full swing. There's 6 of them on the cop. They could get some good Overwatch kills. You got 2 more BLUFOR guys coming in. Weeman's going to give his position away to these 2 BLUFOR guys, and Pogo, who is OFCRA command, is still unconscious. So you could potentially see BLUFOR kind of take this back, but OFCRA did have a group in reserve that are finally going to where the Czech guys were previously. They could still come in and reinforce, but BLUFOR, now that HQ has been destroyed, they could commit their additional guys to take that position as well. So, I mean, both sides getting nasty attrition damage. Weeman going down, that kind of puts the nail in the coffin for OFCRA command. But OFCRA still technically at the advantage that they can just hold this position and reconsolidate.
It's going to see now what's going to make it. That kill, I think, was huge. It's whether Pogo, using his... Pogo's loss, rather, can be exploited by BLUFOR.
Exactly.
Flap is still alive. He can still coordinate units. He has quite a lot of units still to coordinate, I think. The entirety of OFCRA, the Czechs, and what's left of the CSF. This is not the end of the mission. You have to take the capstone to get the true, value points here. So the question is whether he can do it in time. He has to exploit that advantage he has.
Yeah, by the way, we're at 1:12. I believe this ends at 1:40, right?
Yes, 1:40 would be the thing. So they've got plenty of time still. They've got plenty of time still. But it's really going to come down to how they use that time. And it's interesting as well, actually, that no one is watching, no one even inside REDFOR HQ.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of their downfall, trusting only 2 people to defend it, but at the same time, there wasn't really that much room for more than 2 people to defend that position, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd hate to be wrong, I don't see any anti-tank weapons on Match or Hunter, which worries me a little bit, because I feel like, unless somebody takes a demolition charge or an anti-tank rocket, it's going to be just hoping and praying with some frag grenades, and you only get 1 frag grenade per person, so it's not looking great, I feel.
See, I agree, but there are also a lot of dead bodies around.
Very true. You can always scavenge loot, as it were. It's hope that's enough, I think. It takes heads-up play to do that maneuver. I hope it's enough.
I don't see any AT on the dead as well, but you can also just mag dump the caches and it'll eventually go up. But, if someone starts hearing a bunch of gunfire by their base, they're probably going to rush to try to save it.
Yeah. I think the Czechs still being alive is huge here. I think that's just actually huge. Not to mention the fact that Ezio and one of the Swedes still alive in the south. That's incredible. How are these people still alive?
So Ezio hid after the cache blew up. He's been in that same spot all game. BLUFOR is trying to sweep for him, but they haven't sent anyone to check that specific spot. And then Banazai, he was with someone else that I believe died, but their job's done. If they can just keep that BLUFOR group distracted for the next 25 minutes, they should easily have this down.
I think at this moment in time, Flip is alive, he's well, he's been informed of the situation, he's got to bug out. There is no reason anymore for the BLUFOR units to be down that area anymore. They have to bug out. There's no
I would say go just take the refugee camp or just go reinforce the REDFOR HQ attack,
Either one of these options are better than just playing around.
Sitting there doing nothing, exactly.
Yeah, there's nothing for them here anymore.
I do love how REDFOR, if you actually look south of Galati, they made an impromptu checkpoint, or roadblock out of one of their transport trucks. They took 3 4 wheels off and lined them up behind a truck.
Now I'll tell you now, that is a Pogo special. The man loves taking wheels off vehicles and blocking stuff. He's been known to do it. You give him a defend objective, the man will take the wheels off vehicles and put them on staircases. He loves it.
Amazing.
He's one of those kind of individuals. He's.
I mean, that's actually smart.
Oh,
take wheels, put them on a staircase, and wow, no, that's That's genius.
It truly is, but
I'm gonna start stealing that idea.
It gives away who you're fighting against very, very quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I wonder what clan is here. I'm well aware of what clan is here now.
So let's give them a warm. It's interesting because you keep referring to all these groups by their actual group, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest. There's only a few I recognize from FNF, so I think it's really interesting for not just me but my viewer base to kind of see all of these groups as like outsiders looking in. And I've been having to like highlight the groups you're talking about and whatnot, but you know, someone who knows all of these guys, knows their strategies, and you're able to call it, hey, he's about to do this, and then we watch it happen. I think that's pretty awesome.
This is the dream, rather, of what we have in the community here.
Right.
So we have people who we know in week out. We've been doing this for many, many years now. We know these people very well and what they're going to do. For example, You learn these quirks about people. It's nice. It really is quite nice. It appears that the reinforcements from REDFOR have found the deceased Pogo, or not deceased rather, the knocked out Pogo, and his knocked out 2IC, and they are literally with. Oh, and we see CSF Hunter.
He didn't get a kill though, but he Op4 isn't really reacting to that though. But they are going for a kill on McElston. He is now firing back on those windows.
That's the leader of the 506. That's huge.
Yep, so Helston's down. Danny and Angelo right outside here. Zapper also in the building. And we're seeing more shots being engaged here. I just can't tell where it's going, but Hunter is now being suppressed by Police. Police is interesting because he late joined. Because I watched him walk all the way from base down here and play it super cautious with the check guys, but he might be able to get some last-minute licks in here, but Angelo's coming in. Danny just got caught out of position by Hunter. Again, they're just not able to identify where those shots are coming from with those suppressors, but Angelo is going to hide in this building. Meanwhile, literally a room over. I love this. I'm getting a shot at the doorway of both rooms. You see Matt prone under the stairwell, and then you have Angelo prone trying to bandage.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You can very faintly hear the medical. If I was Matt, I would go in and kick his butt if I heard it. But otherwise, that's a really nice mirror shot.
Oh, with the 506 leader down, that's Zapper. Don't go for it. No, Zapper. I think he may pay for this with his life. If Hunter peeks this, that's a second
Curious
kill.
If you're still here in 5 minutes, yeah, we have an op at 5:30. I'm going to stream some Project 16 development and then a TMTM out.
Oh, that's so sad. It's no, alas. But I think this may give it away to Angelo beneath him that, hold on a second, there's not a friendly person upstairs, I should probably deal with him, and this may cause his doom. I think Matt might get him.
He's gonna breach in.
Matt, what?
Matt's like, hey, hello, how are you doing? Let me put some shots in your butt so you can roll down the stairs. Yeah, I know what bad guys look like, yeah. Good job, Matt, he figured it out. He almost didn't figure it out.
I don't know. I think the man probably knew all along. He's trying to get the man to believe in himself. Be like, oh,
right.
Yeah, I can go up these stairs. And then, no, you can't go up these stairs. I'm going to shoot your ankles.
Ouch, man.
He just smoked his own position inside a building. I'd be curious to see what the play is from here from Matt. I think
I mean, even so, who's there to react to this, to be perfectly honest? There goes Angelo getting double tapped. But I love how Hunter pulled her. Hunter! He's like, Matt, you let a guy up the stairs. You know we talked about this, okay? If I told you if you let one guy up those stairs, I'm gonna shoot you in the face. And Hunter, obviously being a man of his word, decided, yep, Hunter's done. So, God, what a beautiful kill streak. He was at 2 kills, now at 1. I'll be watching chat for the next 5 minutes because of the delay, but I'm gonna see some lulls in here, definitely.
Beautiful. I think Hunter is, if a child touches a stove, he'll never touch a stove again. I think that will teach.
Oh my God.
Teach Lilo to never ever go after that again. If you see a man come up those stairs to take me, Hunter, you shoot him. Let me go. I want to be protected. But hopefully he learns from that mistake. But this does leave a situation where Hunter is by himself.
He wanted to do the objective himself. That's the strategy. Now he's gonna lone wolf. He's gonna find Leonosada. I can't even pronounce his name. He's gonna eat cheeseburger, and then he's going to just chuck grenades on the cache and destroy it completely. Definitely.
At the beginning of this mission, we had the CSF doing who could be the best Solid Snake impressionist, and Hunter wanted the title. He was like, "No, I'm not sharing this title. The title is mine. I crawled through bushes for 20 minutes so that I could have the title. I got my suppressed weapon, an objective like 10 meters ahead of me. This job is mine." I'd like to see Hunter.
Real quick, there were 6 BLUFOR guys on the southern objective. Now there's 4, and there's still 2 OPFOR guys on the south.
It is all been done by Banzi. Banzi has taken 2 kills, I think, down here.
Yep, Ezio's gotten a 3rd kill as well. That's amazing. So, I mean, honestly, for the next 20 minutes that are left, a little below 20 minutes, these guys are going to kind of get screwed, you know? But we have Bonzen, he might catch Flip out of position, though, but Flip's up the little hill here. Flip my action. What the heck? No, Bonzi's gonna catch him. Go, hey, how are you doing? Here's some bullets to the chest. Oh man.
That command goes. No, the only advantage BLUFOR had left, I feel, has now gone. These people who should have bugged out as soon as the objective had gone. I mean, they're here, but for what? What are they here for?
I don't know, but Mad Wolf just caught Ezio out of position and shot him. Now it's a 1v3, but honestly, OFCRA also eliminating BLUFOR command is massive.
I mean, what has he done? I mean, it's such a loss of resources for no reason. This is just such a painful one to watch. I think Rick Hunter, I've got faith in Rick Hunter. I think he can probably kill him, but even then, you have two people who just, what will they do? Where will they go? They don't have the comms for the other teams unless they have written them on the map. So it's a very tough situation. BLUFOR put themselves in on this BLUFOR HQ mark. And we see this with the Czechs moving closer and closer to REDFOR HQ.
Yeah, so the Czechs tried to do an advance. They lost a guy, though, because the REDFOR guys that tried to flank him earlier on in reserve and finally caught up with them. And they're now shooting. They're a Special Forces team, too, because they're all suppressed, but putting a lot of lead up there. They might have just gotten another kill, actually. No, they didn't. Okay, I thought there were more guys up there, but... Yeah, BLUFOR could be in trouble here because those 6 people on reserve are down to 3, and Bonazzi is still hunting. He's trying to find Mad Wolf, who killed his friend Ezio over there. And Bon, I mean, he just needs to keep those 3 guys suppressed. And if OFCRA... Honestly, now that OFCRA's last reserve team have come in, they do have the numbers advantage now. I don't see how BLUFOR could win this one unless a major PvP event happens.
Oh, Mad Wolf is about to get Bazami. Will he get him? Down in the BLUFOR HQ?
Possibly. I think Mad Wolf heard the footsteps on his Turtle Beaches, and he's looking around now, but he doesn't see it.
This is so sad. This is so sad.
I'd play Despacito for you, but it's copyrighted.
I think that's for the best. I'd hate to see this champion.
Hunter trying to eat a cheeseburger! But unfortunately, the cheeseburger became the Hunter, and Hunter became Le Hunted.
Oh, so much for Solid Snake. Well,
oh, wow. I mean, with that, it's up to the Czech guys, but this might be it.
It's solely up to the Czechs now to win this mission. However, it must be said that the REDFOR rather still has an entire 2RGT squad. BL squad rather. These are veteran TVT Italian players. That's going to be a tough one. I mean, I must say both team leaders, side leaders being dead, is pretty rough because who's going to inform these squads when the time is to get to the refugee camp for the cap zone? But outside of that, I mean, this is looking. I must say, I'm favouring REDFOR for this one right now.
So BLUFOR, we're seeing the mount up in a few Vics. They might try to do a rush down here, but I mean, I'm gonna do a quick head count. We've got 1, 2, 3 guys to the south. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys to the north. OFCRA has 1 guy to the south, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys to the north. I mean, I don't see it. I don't see BLUFOR getting out of this one, to be perfectly honest.
It really is a tough call. It was going to require a lot of mobility. But to be fair, the Czechs have done a lot of that recently, but it's a hard one. And with that...
Bonazzi just got caught out of position. Who got him?
I think it was Rick Hunter on the hill.
On the hill, yep. Well, I mean, BLUFOR is still going to think there's more dudes out here. I think they're going to stay there for the rest of the game unless they're going to try in the last 5 minutes to push and take the refugee camp, but...
I 100% think the same thing. I think, well, I'm looking now at the people who are left on the BLUFOR people. None of those are people who are squad leaders. So I think the command from them amongst themselves isn't going to be the greatest, I won't lie. So I would be hard-pressed to think these people will... remount up and proceed to the cap zone, which is really sad because those 3 people are going to be invaluable. I mean, it's going to be the Czechs versus the world at this rate.
But OFCRA, I mean, they're doubling down on their HQ. All they have to do is hold it for another 10 minutes, and in the last 5 minutes of the game, just send a full truck of dudes to the refugee camp, and they'll easily overpower the points here. But also, if I read it correctly, if one team gets whittled down to only 5 guys or less, the opposite team gets a point or 2, right?
Exactly, yes. This, I won't lie, I feel like this won't be too impactful, this mission, because I can easily see the Czechs clean enough to get the REDFOR into that parameter, but I don't think they can kill enough to make them win the game, but obviously we'll see. The Czechs are very good players, as I said before. They easily could do it, and by the fact they've mounted up again, I think they've got the knowledge that what needs to be done. The cap zone needs to be taken, and
they got stuck.
They did get stuck. Oh god, no.
Genius.
So
oh, there we go. Oh, he's like he didn't run any of his buddies over right there.
Sure he's gonna run somebody over there. Good god.
It would have been a knock down the hill there. Hot damn.
Especially people have been playing so well as well. All right, that leaves us. Okay, let's go through who's left and who was standout. Zeke, an excellent player. Sixor, an excellent player. And Massacre. I think these three people, I think these will be the big ones who'll turn the battle. But
is this for BLUFOR or OPFOR?
On for BLUFOR. For OPFOR, we have left Tokyo Nick, who never mind, Tokyo Nick's dead, of course, isn't he? This is,
hold on, we got some blue on blue going on OPFOR.
No!
They're engaging some of their QRF, so Zero Gravity just went down to G Stalivo. Again, that night vision, man, it makes it really hard to PID.
These are two Italian teams attacking each other. They could just speak to each other.
Ah, yes, the Italian Civil War has started.
The Italian Civil War, no.
Hey, at least we're now even on blues, all right? Because my chat just got to the BLUFOR blue on blue, and now we have to deal with the OPFOR blue on blue. But at least OPFOR could radio in and like call him off, but that's only if they have his net. So Always, I think, is going to crawl up and try to pick him up, but he could also get picked off.
Oh, this is awful. These are both Italian teams. They can easily speak to each other, I think. It's just such a shame. If this ends up costing REDFOR at least like 3 guys, it's cost them 1 so far. If it costs them 2 more people, I think this goes dead even again. I think it's a dead even game again.
I guess Zero Gravity said something bad about Jay Stelvo's mother's cooking or something. I mean,
I could easily see that.
Hot damn.
I could easily see it. I think he insulted his pastor. If I'm gonna go there, I think he may have insulted his pastor.
You never know.
Maybe a few Porco Dios were thrown into the chat, but I don't want to speak for the Italians. I'm sure they can speak for themselves.
By the way, Mad Wolf finding Benazzi's body and is gonna give the double tap.
Oh, now the question is, can these three OFCRA members regroup?
I said give the double tap.
Dodge. They have no reason to be there. They haven't for the past 20 minutes. Can they get in their cars and can they go?
Mad Wolf deciding not to give the double tap when he should clearly give the double tap.
Deciding against it?
The lid. There we go. You just had to say the lid, you know, give the SpongeBob reference, and they obviously know what that means, even though they can't hear me.
No, I think definitely the SpongeBob reference would have worked very well on these people. But yeah, they have vehicles. The issue is with these people now, as I said before, there's no squad leaders left among them, which comes at a big issue when they have no long-range radios. They cannot speak to the Czechs. These radios cannot go far enough to speak to the Czechs, even if they had their frequency, which I don't think they don't even have. It's an issue.
Definitely.
And it's interesting because the Czechs themselves, fully aware of what to do, I would imagine, have chosen an in-between route. They don't want to go straight to the cap zone. I think their play is to try and get people moving from the REDFOR HQ to the cap zone, in fact. That's what their positioning looks like to me.
Got about 10 minutes remaining. Could go either way still. I mean, REDFOR has the advantage here, but if they don't get their communications back and keep blue on bluing, this could easily get messy. But REDFOR, they're kind of playing it defensive. It's going to be up to BLUFOR to kind of see what happens. But with the amount of blue on blue that's been going on, I mean, anything could still technically happen. I don't know.
What would reassure me is if these Italian teams, the BL rather, and the SIG were walking towards each other. If Thunder, Lux, Anam, and all his lads were walking towards the town, that would reassure me these people have spoken with each other and that they know that each other are friendlies. But they have taken defensive positions and continue to take defensive positions, leading me to believe that they still believe that both sides are enemies, which is horrible. If these people believe that they're still under attack, the cap side's going to go free to BLUFOR.
It's a shame Pogo's still bleeding out in a corner somewhere.
He's just thinking to himself.
He's napping.
In his dying breath, just there, like, how come I can't speak to these Italians bloody shooting each other? I could have ended this if I was alive. Fuck's sake! Why did I drive to the town on a bloody bike? Why was I doing this?
Just caught out of position by a bunch of solid snake wannabes. But I mean, on about the 9-minute mark here. Do you see any, what are the OPFOR vehicles in the town that they can use to maneuver to the refugee camp?
Okay,
I haven't seen any.
we have some unorthodox choices. We have a bike, which is still operational.
Okay.
We have a car on the road, which would require all of its wheels replacing.
True.
Back onto it, to which
Yeah,
they
the
could
trucks.
Go. Yeah.
Oh, there's 2 trucks. Okay. Yep.
Another one on the other side, which would also require its wheels put back on. In fact, where the hell are those wheels? Hold on. The truck to the east side has 1 wheel next to it, and it is missing 6. This is
obviously, those wheels were taken to wheel jail, or they were executed for their crimes against the state. But yeah, I mean, they're probably going to be stuck with the one truck that has a few guys medicing next to it. I'll be curious to see if they even get zero gravity up. But have you ever tried to get it up in zero gravity? It's really tough.
I mean, I can't say that I have. I heard drugs help.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone to their own, though. I must say, the issue that REDFOR are having right now is one of communication. There are 3 separate teams inside the city. There is the 506, there is the SIG, and there is also the BL. This is, without a side leader, this is what we face. A side leader is such a massive component of our games. You look at FNF, for example. I don't particularly want to compare to FNF too much. I think it's an excellent organization, excellent what they do. But it's the coordination provided by a side leader rather, is huge. It's invaluable, in fact. It's so much more, because these missions are so much more complicated. It's the scale is huge of what we just go over the entire map. We don't limit it down. You know, tactical freedom is something, and strategic freedom is something that we fully incentivize. These missions are given to people a week in advance. Pogo had his plan. I saw Pogo on the server testing his plan literally the day the plan was released. So I'm sure that he's put a lot of work into it, which is a shame for him to be dead in the coma right now.
Yeah, right.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, that's the grand thing of it. And if Pogo isn't alive to go through his plan, it comes up then on who did he put in charge? Who was his next in line? And I think it was his Whitman who died along with him. So it's
not the best call there.
Good. Yeah, not very good. Not very good. But then we look at the exact same thing on BLUFOR. It's I mean, right now, I think, I need to have a look who's leading the team of Czechs. I imagine it's Ziki. It is indeed Ziki. Ziki's a very skilled combatant, but his long-range radio chat can be a bit hard to understand at times when it gets late, and he has to mumble. So it's a bit of an issue. I mean, that made me even madder. We have 3 French people who none of them have a long-range radio. So you can see them now trekking towards the objective. Look at this.
Kinda. I mean, yeah.
Oh, it's so slow. It's going to be so hard.
Czech guys are just started up their vehicle. They might try to go for the refugee camp. Now, riddle with me. Is the refugee camp capturing that equal to the same amount of points as destroying an HQ?
Yes, it will be. I believe so, at least. It would be a draw then, I think, if that was the scenario.
So how is a draw settled?
Well, there was 3 missions in this campaign. The last mission, the REDFOR side won. This mission, if the Czechs can take this unopposed, they would. This would be a draw. So that would put everything onto the last mission, which will take place in 2 weeks.
Gotcha. So we have a BLUFOR guy at the BLUFOR HQ marker getting in a truck. That's Mad Wolf. Will OFCRA get a pop-up if BLUFOR takes the refugee camp?
No, they will not. This will
Interesting.
It is purely they have to scoot now. But yet again, with this issue, they believe they're being engaged, and they're not. They're not being engaged. There's 2 Italian teams shooting each other. This is horrible. It's not. It's incredibly hilarious. I mean, we can't deny the hilarity of this. I mean, we can say it's a travesty, but it's obviously very, very funny. But it is what it is.
No, because I mean, OFCRA, if they repositioned here, they could go send a team down to the refugee camp. If they were to organize, but I think this right here has shown the importance of communication just in general for Arma, and it's a really unique game because that aspect you really don't think about in other games, like for example Call of Duty or Halo. It's just a bunch of people that usually don't coordinate. It's just a matter of, CQB fights and whoever is the better player. But here, I mean, OFCRA were the better players here in my opinion when it came down to the PvP, because they were able to get their objective done and repel the BLUFOR attack, but they're still going to end up in a draw because they're unable to communicate with each other. And this one instance that Stelivo's caused has kind of thrown his entire team out. And I mean, with less than 4 minutes remaining, actually, it's probably going to come down to that draw. because there's no active vehicles. OFCRA can hop in and try to, you know, just take that position by brute force. They would have to make a plan here to kind of put the wheels back on this car and go from there. And I think Sippo is doing that now. But even then, if only a few of them go, they're going to not have the numbers to take that camp from BLUFOR. BLUFOR putting 2 guys in there, so OFCRA would need to put 4 guys in there to counter it, but...
It's weird, because obviously the SIG have done very, very well defending this HQ. They've done very, very well. And it's kind of been... It's putting what they've done into a bit of a dark light in this bit of team kill. But obviously it happens to everyone. It happens to everyone. It's completely understandable, especially at nighttime. But it's it truly may cost them the game in the end. It's very, very sad, but it may cost them the game. So obviously it's still anyone's game. REDFOR have more people if they choose to get up and move and actually take it.
I'm going to be honest, based off of time, I think this is game. Because even though OPFOR is putting the wheels back on the truck, just considering the drive and, you know, reestablishing communications, you have Lux running down there. Probably he's going to be able to get comms back. But by the time OPFOR reorganizes, we'll probably see it go up to maybe 141 total. But I don't see it. Just it's 2 clicks away. OPFOR still has to reorganize, and we're like 3.5 minutes still. So I don't see it. Unless OPFOR like bum rushes and then drives into the refugee camp and somehow wins it on a technicality because they got more people in there, which I also could see possible because they could just knock over the gates, but I don't know.
Yeah, it really is. It's a tricky one now. But okay, so on a more pleasant note, rather.
Yep.
If you had to name an MVP for this mission, who would it be? I could tell you who mine would be, but I'd like to say yours first.
Let me pull up his name so I pronounce it right. Kali S.
Kali S, a star player of the FJB, a very, very good Austrian player. Or Swiss player, my apologies.
He literally took the pincer maneuver BLUFOR made to stop the OPFOR advance, killed a bunch of dudes in it, pushed up, got with Ezio, and then Kali came in and blew up the BLUFOR HQ. Despite his team is probably only going to draw this, he was able to give OPFOR the edge. And honestly, had he not done that, BLUFOR would have won the match. Because of the situation we've gone in here. So we're getting on the 39th minute, 1 minute remaining, but, you know, people are mounting up in this truck, but it's not going to be enough.
I'm so worried.
I don't see it. I think this is going to be it based off of time. I hope it is because I have to go Zeus in 15 minutes.
I think that's completely realistic. I think, but they are moving now. But it's
literally like a minute, 2 minutes tops. It's gonna get them. It's gonna take at least 60 to 90 seconds to get there. But they're only moving with what, 3 people?
Yeah, is that enough?
Yeah, so no, because there's 2 people in the zone. It's 2 additional. Not 1, 2 additional, according to the rules. Shit. So they'd have to kill one of the BLUFOR guys unless they like literally run him over. Which is that even allowed?
No, not really.
Exactly. So I don't see it.
Yeah, true. It's very true.
Same about Zero Gravity. He just got left in a building though to bleed out because they couldn't do anything for him. Are the medics squad at the squad level or the platoon level?
At the squad level.
Gotcha. But how many sections per squad? 2?
No, 1 section per squad. We only
gotcha.
Have,
okay.
We only have, yeah.
So I wonder if he was the medic then. So otherwise, they should have been able to get him up, right?
Definitely, they should have been able to get him up.
So just unlucky. So we're at the 40-minute mark.
Oh no! Don't dismount here.
And they're gonna they don't have the. Oh, there it is. No, that's it. That's it.
Make it in time. Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. They were actually so close as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. Well, there ends that. That was a draw, right?
That was I guess technically a draw. I'm not seeing any points go up, but
I think that was a draw. I think we're gonna let them play us out for the memes. I don't think it's gonna end too well.
And that truck was immediately shot to shit.
Yeah.
2 people down. Always going down. He actually got a kill there, but.
Yep.
I mean, realistically, they might have been able to take it, but it was just too short. 4-2 for Red.
But Red actually won that.
So Red actually won it, technically.
Red actually won. Okay, so that puts our campaign on 1 to Red 4, and
No, 2 to Red 4,
Two to Red
according to
4,
what you said. So yeah, no, again, MVP would definitely be Cali there for what he did, but
yeah. 2 to,
so,
yeah, so
I mean, no, that was fun to watch because again, the difference between this and FNF was FNF usually have the rounds at most take an hour. This gave 90 minutes, and you let the players do a lot more tactics, and the tactics actually worked, but it still boiled down to the PvP, and that's where we saw stars rise, even though the advantage went against them. So I love that. I love seeing that. But at that point, NASA, I gotta bid you adieu. I gotta go zoo something because my community's memeing me in my chat. So
that's completely fair. Completely fair. Well, it's been a pleasure having you here, lad. Hope you join us again.
right on, man. I hope
good.
to make it here too. I'll just have to make some slight schedule adjustments, but that should be fine.
Very good. Well then, I'll talk to you next week then.
All right.
I think it's very good.
Cheers, my guy. Alright, fucking hiccups make me sound awkward as shit.
That's valid.
Alright. Alright, so here is the deal. I gotta now, can I have this thing get fixed, mid-stream, or do I have to stop it? So if I disable that, and now if I go to my Twitch, I don't know. I'm gonna wrap it up here, and we're gonna immediately restart the stream. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Go operate operation. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. You're not even gonna read this. This is more for the video. But otherwise, cheers and have a. Actually, no, I'll keep this going for now. But before I switch the ops, I'll restart the stream.
No, you suck for that. God damn.
Jeez, why are there like 44 of you in here? What the hell?
They made a rule that
I said
I might.
we're bored. Liru, I said that they're getting infinite ammo, and then they all showed up.
I'm not gonna lie, I might not have enough slots, so give me a second.
Nothing has happened today.
Based.
Just letting you know, I only have 100 rounds left in the Browning.
Yeah, they have 100 rounds left of the infinite ammo Browning. Let's go.
Just giving you an update. I'm Amber on ammo.
About that. People complained about having infinite ammo.
100% I complained. I was sitting on an M2 just spraying. It was silly.
The hearing loss is annoying,
But
dealable.
The hearing loss wasn't from that, it was from the fucking Vulcan.
So real quick, I disabled ear ringing, but kept everything else.
You still go deaf though, forehead?
I know you do, but at least you don't have the annoying ringing going on.
The ringing makes it worse because you don't realize you're going deaf, and then you start questioning why you can't hear anyone over the fucking radio.
It is
Maybe
worth
you're
pointing
like
out,
people
even
having
with,
an existential crisis.
Wow.
it is worth pointing out, even with infinite ammo, the tanks still shot down more aircraft than the anti-aircraft vehicle.
And if I was Z Atomic, I might take offense to that. But he's not
Oh,
here,
well.
so.
I can also confirm that as well.
I'm not
As Zeus
making it up.
As Zeus,
Speak of the
the
devil
aircraft
and
got shot down so many more times by main tank rounds. It was fantastic.
Okay.
Alright, I might have to delay this by a few minutes. I'm gonna check the slot count because the server's up ready to go, but I might have to throw in another squad because, again, I did not expect this many people to show up.
60 slots.
Wasn't
it a rule?
When I literally have 30 people show up every week, I'm gonna make a 45-person mission tops, and then I get fucking 47. Whatever.
See, I think it's a correlation between
Look at all the new
going deaf.
heroes we have.
Liru, have you got plans for fucking Halloween on
Not
yet?
all of them are new.
Yes.
Cool.
I'm not gonna discuss them this week, though.
Is it gonna be spooky skeletons like last time where I could fail flying a C-130?
I literally want every round
God.
to be like a 40% chance of just go rattle me bones.
Rattle me bones!
Or when the
I think I have that on my
Yes.
soundboard.
And then another one just going spin the wheel.
I'll shoot Bad Wolf in the head again, thinking he's AI.
Let's spook them, fuckboys.
Oh man, you piss him off so much.
I know I didn't realise it was him. I was like,
Wasn't it like a fucking
Steps over
one-line
him.
or some shit? It was like lost his
18 months.
shit.